Okay, I believe that this will be my first video. Am I correct? I think so. Okay, so you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Akinola Oyewobi, and to be honest, I don't really have anything I want to say, but I want to just give you an insight into my journey in my current apartment, because I'm thinking about moving houses. Or not, I'm thinking, I've already put a thought to it, so I'm moving houses in a couple of weeks. And so this would be my first and last video in this apartment, and I just wanted to take you through my journey in this apartment. And so I moved into this apartment in 2019. So that means I spent 3 years in this apartment. I currently live at Dawaki. Dawaki is a very, very serene environment. It's a very good environment. It's the proximity to town is good, and I would choose this place over and over. Of course, some apartments here are pricey, but the current apartment I live in is not as expensive. In fact, it's been the same price for 3 years on the run, and I think it's likely going to be the same price this year. And so a few weeks ago we had a fire incident in this apartment, and 4 of my neighbors lost their apartments, and we're lucky that ours was going to be the next, but gratefully it didn't spread to our part of the apartment. And one of the key things for me is that this place is, in as much as the proximity to town, to places, for instance, for me to church, to work, it's quite good. And but I get to walk from my house to the bus stop every day. That's something I see as a means of exercise, because I used to walk out, but because of the current security situation, I had to stop, because I had to go quite early to go walk out and didn't want to be kidnapped, And so that was how it was. And this place has a market. It has 2 markets. It has a modern market, and it has another local market. However, the modern market has a few shops, and then the other market is it's by the road. And so, but I don't like shopping in any of these places, except if I have an essential I don't have in my house. I go to shop at the Dawaki, at the Duse market. And the Duse market, the reason for Duse market is because Duse market is quite cheap, and it gives you a lot of options compared to what you have here. And so, and then, people that will say, my customer. So I have a lot of those people at the Duse market. And so another thing for me is the electricity in this part of town is good. In fact, a lot of people love to want to come stay in Dawaki just because of the electricity situation. Not until there was a drop in the allocated power to Dawaki, or sorry, to Abuja generally, to the FCT and other states around the FCT that the AEDC covers. And so that was the challenge. But then it's improved compared to, say, 2 weeks ago, and I also hope it will keep improving. And so the only downside for me is Dawaki seems to be a lot far to the airport. It takes me about 15 minutes drive. My fiance would say it is a journey, and it's really a journey. I think there was a time I almost missed my flight, and that was when I was traveling to Sokoto. And it's, if you stay around a place like this, you have to ensure that if you're going to the airport, you plan at least 2 hours before your flight, so you could be at the airport at a good time. And so another thing for me is this place has a football pitch, not a standard size football pitch anyways, but it's at least a football pitch, and it sort of looks good because people come to play local football on that pitch during weekends and most times during the week. One of the key things for me is the roads are not tarred. The roads are are basically on charge. Yep. But from my house to where the road is charged is about 500 meters to 1 kilometer. And so you're likely to, in the dry season, you're likely to be dusty. The roads are likely to be really dusty, even the ones that are tarred, just because, of course, when it rains, it carries debris, and that debris actually just forms more than when it's dry. When it comes to the dry season, and then those things are like just normal sand, and it raises a lot of dust. Other thing for me, how do I get to town? How I get to church is I take a cab from Galadima. That's after walking to Galadima. Galadima is the bus stop. So I walk to Galadima and I take a cab going to maybe Yanya or Maraba or Papi, and then I light at Maitama Junction, and from Maitama Junction I walk to church. So the thing is, this whole thing just makes it easy for me to walk. Like, that's, since I'm not jogging, that is the way I exercise, yeah. And so going to work as well, I take a car going to Wuse Market. After lighting at Wuse Market, I walk from Wuse Market to my office. So this just gives me an opportunity. I think in the past 2 quarters, I can count how many times I actually took a cab that I took a cab to maybe my office. I can count them because it's very, very few. And so Dawaki is such an amazing place, but I'm moving very soon, and I'm really glad at the journey right here. I have a very amazing landlord. They've been amazing. In fact, those are all the things I always pray for, not having people that are just condescending and everything, but they are really amazing. Another thing about my apartment is I have a very good landlord, but you can never say about your tenant, your co-tenants, right? And so I have a situation where my tenant has a dog, he has a generator, and I don't like noise. Noise can actually cause me not to sleep. Like, I don't like noise. I think the only noise that can make me sleep is music. But when it comes to generator, when it comes to a dog, it affects my sleep. And so and that was the same situation I had with my previous neighbors. But my other neighbors are really amazing. Even my neighbor that has the dog can be troublesome sometimes, but it's also amazing. And so I really enjoyed my journey here, and I believe God led me here. He brought me to a place like this just because he needed me to learn a lot of things. I would say I've learned a lot of who I am. I've learned how to be assertive. I've learned how to talk, say my opinions, just by being in a place where there are people like this, where maybe you have a situation and they need my input. I'm not afraid to give my input. And so that's my journey. That's my 3-year journey in this apartment in Dawaki. I know you might also be looking at some tiles and you'll be wondering if I'm in the toilet, whether my bookshelf is in the toilet, So I would say this is how the entire apartment is, with these white tiles on the walls. And I've had a couple of Zoom meetings where I was asked if I was in the toilet. And so I know you have the same question in mind. I'm not in the toilet, though. I'm in my study area in the apartment. And thank you for joining me today. And I do hope you find this video helpful. And just stay tuned. There is more videos coming. I believe the next video you'll be seeing on this channel in a couple of days is a video from my new apartment. Have a blessed week.